class. Today we are going to talk about conducting a stakeholder analysis. Just as we talked last time in our last lesson, the importance of engaging stakeholders in your projects. So today we are going to look at how to conduct a stakeholder analysis, which basically entails three main steps. That is, you need to identify your stakeholders, prioritize them, understand them, then develop your register of stakeholders. So the first step in identifying your stakeholders, it entails listing your stakeholders so that you're able to know who is involved in your project or who is interested in your project. And that can be done through brainstorming with your team. The second step, once you have listed your stakeholders, is to prioritize them. And this we do using the power interest grid. The power interest grid is a 4-quadrant grid which looks like this. On the right side up is the power relations, which is high and low. And on the horizontal margin is interest, which may either be low or high. This can also be represented by influence. Sometimes we have influence here, and here we have importance. The two versions are still okay. So in this grid, you group your stakeholders that you have listed into categories. Those with the low influence in your project or low power and low interest are grouped in this quadrant. And in this case, we just need to monitor them, don't spend a lot of resources on them. In this first quadrant, we have those stakeholders who have high power to influence your project activities, but with a low interest. You need to keep them satisfied. In the third quadrant are those with the low power to influence project activities, but have a very high interest. These are most of the time your beneficiaries. You need to keep them informed. And then you have the fourth quadrant who have high power in your project and as well have high interest in it. And these are mainly the financials of your project, those with mandate on your project activities. Therefore, with this team, you need to manage the project together and you need to consult them during the project implementation. So at that point, you'll have grouped your list of stakeholders in the 4 main quadrants. Then that information, we use it to understand our stakeholders. What interests them in your project, then what kind of information do they want from you and how frequent. So once you have done that, then you should be able to develop your stakeholder register. And the stakeholder register just is a simple register with the names, with the address of the stakeholder, with the information that they need and the frequency with which they require that information. So with that document, you'll be able to implement your project and provide the relevant information to the stakeholders who are interested in your project activities. So that is the whole process of conducting a stakeholder analysis. And how do we benefit from it? It reduces conflicts during project implementation. It also enhances buy-in. Those who were initially opposed to your project will be able to support it, and also it enables you to formulate a good communication strategy. Thank you, and I hope you have learned something from this lesson.